We do bold predictions all summer, and some of your bold predictions have flat out crashed and burned already, and you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. As we have established on this show, I make predictions as well, but I don't want to know about the blame. I don't want any of the blame. I just want the credit. So I want to be praised when our predictions pan out. However, I am not above throwing some of you under the bus when your bold predictions fail. And I've got bad news. 6 of you are already done. And we can go back because all of these are on record, and some of you know what you did. And I'm not going to call you out by name, but I'm about to call your prediction out. For example, Virginia Tech going undefeated when they play Clemson. That was a prediction we got from Lincoln, Nebraska. Virginia Tech has another 6 weeks until they play Clemson, and they're already 2-2. And they're huge underdogs against Miami. They've still got Boston College, Georgia Tech, Syracuse. I don't even know if Virginia Tech will be above 500 when they play Clemson, much less undefeated. Now, I wanted this to be right. You guys know I did. I've never been to a Virginia Tech game, so I wanted this to be right. But alas, it is not. We could play Sarah McLachlan music over this whole thing. Next up, these were real predictions, guys. Kansas makes the playoff from Snowman Sports. Kansas makes the playoff. Well, the iJosh says it is September 26th. Still September. Kansas is 1-3. Jalen Daniels has more interceptions than touchdowns. They lost to Illinois. They did beat Lindenwood. They did beat that dude, but they lost to Illinois. They lost to UNLV. They lost to West Virginia. They've still got Kansas State, Iowa State, TCU, Arizona State, Brigham Young, Colorado. Kansas is going to the playoff only if they buy tickets. This one was dead on arrival. No shot. Next up, this one was never going to happen. I think we made it like a 9.5 on the boldness scale when it was presented to us. Riley Leonard, a Heisman finalist? Riley Leonard in his best year was never going to be a Heisman finalist, but he's yet to throw for 170 yards in any game at Notre Dame. They already lost to Northern Illinois. The win against Texas A&M was wonderful, but it wasn't some Heisman moment by any stretch. I don't much care about Heisman moments. I'm just telling you that's how this award works. He has more interceptions than passing touchdowns. And by the way, he's only thrown 2 picks. The problem is he's only thrown 1 touchdown. He is not top 100 in pass yards per game right now. There are 100 quarterbacks minimum with a better yards per game passing. So Riley Leonard, feels safe to say, has been eliminated from Heisman contention. Next up, Florida State. They're going to lose the ACC championship game to a team not named Clemson or Miami. That one came to us from Montgomery, Alabama. So Florida State's going to make the conference title game, and they're going to lose to someone not named Miami or Clemson. Florida State will not be sniffing Charlotte. Florida State is more likely to lose to Charlotte than they are to make it to Charlotte. And secondly, Miami and Clemson are the overwhelming favorites right now, 1-2, any order, to make the ACC championship game and win it. So one of them, maybe both of them, will be there. Florida State will not be there. So none of this prediction is going to remotely be accurate, which is why we gave it a 9.5 on the boldness scale in the preseason. Next up, this one's even worse. Mind you, people, it's still September. These have crashed and burned in September. Graham Mertz has a better statistical season than Cam Ward. Hold on, Colin. There's nothing wrong. I know people are laughing, so I want to give them a second. We like Graham Mertz, man. We are Graham Mertz fans, but man, this was not going to happen. What was wrong with you? I think right now, Ward is number 2 in the country in pass yards per game. Graham Mertz is barely top 100. Cam Ward has thrown for 3 or more touchdowns in every game. Mertz has 4 all season. It was just never going to happen. Never going to happen. And lastly, mathematically, I guess this last one's still alive, but I mean, calculators don't have heartbeats, as Meemaw once said. So math is the only thing keeping this alive. Ben from Blacksburg, Virginia, his heart was in the right place, his head was not. The ACC will have a winning record against the SEC this season. Let's go to the tape. Miami did beat Florida. And Cal, as we always said, Cal will be the backbone of the ACC. They beat Auburn. So you do have 2 wins. Your problem is Clemson got body bagged by Georgia. Virginia Tech got beat by Vandy, kind of one you needed to have. NC State got splattered by Tennessee. Wake, same thing against Ole Miss. BC came close, but close does not count. They lost to Missouri. And so now you're 2-5, and you've got South Carolina versus Clemson. Okay. You got Georgia's going to do bad things to Georgia Tech in all likelihood. I would lean Louisville over Kentucky. Florida State should be illegal to put on TV right now. Point being, this one's alive mathematically, but it's not going to happen. So we already have 6 bold predictions that we might as well play the Undertaker's music over because they're dead and buried and gone. Sad, but true.